You know, I always wanted to write a book. And write a book about my life and about how I grew up and how and where I lived. Mainly because when I think that there's people that can actually relate to my story and relate to how I grew up and relate to everything, you know, there's not one person that has the same upbringing. So just like, let's just pretend that I am reading you a chapter out of my book. It would be in the beginning, as far back as I can remember. Far back as when I would say I was about 4 or 5. And I lived in Oglala, South Dakota, in Lakeside. It was like, if you go back on my videos, you can see I actually did a video from there, but I was up on the hill from where my grandpa's house used to be. Because, see, my grandpa, his house was actually given to my auntie. Now, my auntie was living there. And what happened was she passed away. And it still really bothers me to this day on what happened. Somebody had burnt down the house after, right after my auntie had passed away. Somebody had burnt down the house. And I still can't, like, why and who, like, I don't know, like, there's no reason for them to even be on that property. But I have a feeling that somebody killed my auntie because she was just found with, they said that her kidneys had collapsed, her liver had collapsed, she had hypothermia. They said that she was in the cold for about 4 days. Somebody had broke out all the windows in that house whenever they went and found her, while somebody went to go see her, and then they called the ambulance and then they left. So when the ambulance got there, there was nobody there but my auntie, and they said she was laying in the middle of the living room, and she was in the hospital, I would say, for about 3 weeks, and then she passed away. Right after that is whenever somebody had burned down my grandpa's house. The house that I grew up in, not just me, but also my mom and my uncles and a few of my aunties, including the one that lived in the house last. Well, still to this day, we don't know who burned it down and why. Because the system here, I mean, there's no way that they could never know, because like years have passed already, and the house itself is like, that's all in ashes. Literally burnt the whole house down to the ground. And it's gone. So my first chapter of my book would have to be about the house, and about how I grew up in that house. And, growing up there, I was very, I would say, like, I was aware that, nobody hardly ever came over except for my mom's friends and my uncle's friends and my grandpa's friends. Hardly any family. So, like, I remember a lot from my childhood. And it's not so much to say, like, it was very bright and it was so good and it was all this and that. Like, I can't sugarcoat it. But I could say one thing for sure is that my grandpa, he always took care of me. And he always made sure me and my brother had food, and he always made sure we were okay. And he was always mainly watching us all throughout our childhood. And he was a known bronc rider. His name is Homer Senior Stans. And if you Google him, you'll see that he was a very known, good, one of the best. He got a lot of trophies. And when you're a bronc rider, they give you those big belt buckles. Well, he had those, and I can always tell when my grandpa had, like, he was getting money, and it was like his paycheck day. Like, he was putting on his belt buckle, his cowboy boots, his his nice iron shirt, his dentures, everything, like his hat, his cowboy hat. Like, he was all decked out, and he shaved. And then it was like, yep, Grandpa's going somewhere today. He's getting all ready. I always remember him getting ready like that. And then, like, one of the things that I really remember is I never had toys. I never had, like, a Barbie doll or, like, a baby doll or anything like that. Like, but I do remember I had, my mom had just got this mop. And it was one of the mops with the strings on it and everything. And I thought, I'm going to use this. This is going to be my doll. So I got a paper bag and I taped it on there, on the front. And then I made a face. I drew a face on it. And, like, the mop strings was her hair. And I was, like, walking around with it and playing in the grass. And, like, I remember that, that little memory of me playing with this mop, acting like it was a doll or some sort, or like even a person. Also, another thing, like, we didn't have electricity for a very long time. And we didn't have running water in the house. Like, where we had to go get water. If I can use an example, let me see. See that tree? Like, right right here. See this tree? Maybe a little bit farther back, way back there, is how far all the way down. See, at the end of the trees right here, there's a river. That's how far we had to walk to go get water with jugs and buckets. And like for real, like water pails, you know? And we would walk, and then I remember my uncle, like he would carry the water pails, like he would have a big stick and he would have like 3 jugs on each side. He would be carrying it like that. And I thought it was so cool because this water was so clean, and like you could just drink it like on site, like right there. And not even have to worry about it being dirty or have to worry about being sick or anything like that. I don't know any place like that right now where you can do that. I mean, if you go back to the same spot where we used to get water is now dry. There's no more. It was basically like a little pond, but there's no more water there. There's no water in the lake. Nothing. And also, my mom, she was always cooking outside. My uncles were always helping her getting the wood. And that's how we ate. We just cooked outside like that. And my uncles, they were real like respectful and calm, and you know, they hardly ever yelled or raised their voice for anything. And I think they were like teenagers then when I was little. But yeah, they're really good. They had passed away too. Most of my uncles had passed away. I have 1, 2, 3. I say 3 uncles left on my mom's side that I know of. Also, like how we washed clothes. There was the lake where, you know, the spillway where we got the water. And then on the other side of this wall right there, there's a lake. And we would go down there. And my mom would just like haul everything down there in our wagon. And she was just like straight up washing clothes right there in the lake. And we'll be washing up too. Washing our hair while we're swimming, and finish washing up. And then we'll have to get out. Like, you know, that was just what I knew. What I knew of our life and how we were living. And I just figured, like, this is life. This is everybody. Everybody's living like this. When really I had no idea that there was actually people in houses with electricity, with water, with TVs. That's another thing. Like, we didn't have TV. We didn't have a TV. And how I got introduced to a TV was my uncle, who had left and he had moved to Oregon with a girl, and then he came back for a visit. He brought a TV and he hooked it up to a car battery, and he, like, you know, what do you guys want to watch? And he was flipping the channels. It was like that. Remember the knob? Like, and he was like showing us the channels and everything, but he had hooked it up to a car battery is how it was going. And you know, whenever you hook up your TV to a car battery, your screen literally like shuts down little by little by little by little. It goes smaller and smaller. Then pretty soon, when the battery's dead, it's like nothing. And when the battery went dead, I was like, wow, we need a new car battery. It was pretty insane. You know, now that I really think back on it, like, it was nice. I mean, it was really nice to have that upbringing, because I know how we can actually survive without all of this technology and without everything. I mean, kind of like right now, I'm teaching my kids, you know, because our only source of heat right now is a wood stove. So I'm teaching my kids, like, we have to always have wood. We always have to haul wood. And it's just, you know, and they don't mind. They like it. They actually like to haul wood and have something to do. But I'm getting off subject. So that would be part of my first chapter of my life. Growing up like that. Growing up with mainly just my mom. I mean, my dad, he was there, but he was like in and out the picture. Yeah. But yeah, I just need, I want to start writing my book. And but I need a laptop because I want to have it on a disk drive. And have it on some, you know, on a disk drive. Where I can always have it no matter what, no matter where. As of having it on paper, I feel like it would get lost. Or it would get ruined or something. But yeah, I don't have a laptop, so whenever I do get one someday, then I can start with the first chapter. And once I do get it, I'll figure it out. I want to set a goal and give myself, I would say, at least just to be realistic, I would say about 2 years. I mean, if I had the finances and everything, I would say 1 year. But just going off of realistically, 2 years, I should have my book completed. And then I'm not sure how it goes after that. If you know how to get it to an editor or anything, anybody. I don't know anybody, but I'll be doing my research to figure everything out, because most likely I'll be doing this on my own. So yeah, just want to let you guys know about that. And I hope everybody else out there is having a good day and having good health. And I hope nobody's sick, because I've been drinking a lot of water to keep myself hydrated so I don't get sick, because most of the time, like, around this time is whenever I get sick, and I haven't yet, and I'm not planning to. I'm just taking care of myself by drinking a lot of water, and you guys too. Alright, you guys, don't shy.